everyone, welcome back to my channel, Sharon Cullen Art. I'm going to address two topics from my watercolor paper video that was just posted early this morning, actually in the middle of the night. The first thing has to do with Canson's watercolor paper. Someone corrected me and said that Canson's no longer distributes watercolor paper for arches. And I had looked yesterday and saw that mine said Canson on the back of the paper. But this is an older block. I've had it for probably a year and a half, 2 years. This one I bought a few weeks ago, and it says Cole Art Company. Nowhere on the back does it say Canson anymore. So now Cole Art, C-O-L, capital A-R-T, but all one word, International Holdings Limited from London, UK, is now handling the paper distribution, but it's still made in France at arches-papers.com. Now, I had also read on Arches website that Arches paper dates back to 1492, same year that Christopher Columbus found America, and actually the American Indians found America, but whatever, Christopher Columbus gets all the credit. But anyway, I wanted to tell you about that. There have been many distributors who have changed hands since 1492, and then this is the latest that I've found. So I apologize for that mistake. I looked at my paper, it said Canson's on the back, and I didn't look at any other paper. Who knew that they changed distributors? But thank you to whoever it was in the comments who pointed that out to me. So I did research it, and yes, I was wrong. Second thing is on B paper. Somebody asked me if the B paper rolls up again after you cut it. Well, yeah, obviously it's going to have some memory to it. Watercolor paper does, which is why it dries flat again after you wet it. But if you wet both sides of the paper, weight the edges if you need to a little bit, or tape the edges down until it dries and then lift your paper up, you're going to have flat paper. So don't worry about that. If you're cutting lots of little pieces, I would suggest cutting big sheets, laying it flat, wetting both sides, laying it flat, weighting it, and then cutting it into smaller sheets so you're not making so much work for yourself. The B Paper Company apparently closed. I did not know this, and I cannot verify it. I have been trying to verify it online for hours, so I can't find anything on it, except that I'm assuming Liv or Love for Life has her information correct, because it has been hard to get recently. And when I look on B Paper Company's sites, their web page, their Facebook page, etc., everything that is posted is from 2019, and now here it is June 2020, and there's no new posts. So that doesn't make any sense to me, other than it must be closed. So then another person, I believe it was Linda Carrera, thank you for the information, said that she spoke to Amazon and they should be getting some paper in soon. She was under the impression that a new paper company took it over. Now, Love for Life said that she had heard, she didn't give me any reference, but she had heard through gossip or the grapevine or whatever that they went under because they could not produce the paper without losing money. Well, I don't know why they didn't raise their prices. The paper was good paper. It's not very toothy. I was talking a lot about undulations yesterday, and what I meant is tooth. But when I say tooth, a lot of people don't understand that as beginners. So those two words are interchangeable, but the tooth of the paper is very smooth. It's not as smooth as hot press. It's still considered cold press. Why didn't they raise their paper prices? They should have raised their paper prices because it's good paper. It works well. It's the tooth is even across the entire piece of the paper. It's not patchy. The paper works well. Yeah, it warps a little bit, but it's the way the paper is made. Arches is the only paper I have found that doesn't do that. And it has to do with their internal sizing and external sizing. And it's just plain old great paper. So I've never had a problem with it. Somebody else said they did. That's the first person I've ever heard say anything about Arches paper warping horribly for them. And I don't know why that is unless she's using too much water. So my suggestion would be to back off on the water. She was talking about using blocks and having the water issue. Now, she also didn't like the glue on the edges. She said it was hard to get off and it was leaving black edges on her paper, and she doesn't like that. I've never had that problem either, so I don't know if it was the block she owned or what. One thing I have noticed with Arches paper is sometimes you'll purchase it and it has a strange odor to it, almost musty smelling. Now, I didn't notice it on my new paper, but on some of my old paper I noticed it. No, that is gone, and it could be because it's a new distributor. Let me smell this one. This is my older one. And I've lost it on this one, so I'm not sure. But a few of mine I had bought over the last few years were kind of smelly. They came like that the minute I took the plastic off. So, but you don't have to get blocks with Arches. You can also get pads, which are cheaper. So, but they do give you a lot of paper. Their blocks are always 20 sheets. So, I don't know, maybe the super duper big ones might be 10 sheets. But even the 16 by 20s, 12 by 16s, I'm sorry. 12 by 16s are still 20 sheets. So that's why you're going to pay a little more money for them. But anyway, that's all I had to say. Apparently there is somebody who has bought out B Paper Company or is distributing for them or something. So I would expect prices to change. And if they bought them out, the paper could possibly change. So I bought my roll, and I'm going to buy another roll so that I know I have it on hand. Maybe I won't, because I usually use Arches, but it's nice to have B paper. So hopefully they're coming back. We'll see. So stay tuned. Anyway, everybody, remember, be courageous, paint with wild abandon, and most of all, be kind to each other. Take care, everybody. God bless.